Hello, my name is Jeff Rolka. Thank you for checking out my video. This is a part of questions from comments 53. The question is, hi Jeff, do you have any tips on learning to use vibrato? Also, is it easier in chest voice or head voice? Feels like to me at the moment, but not sure. Feels like that to me at the moment, but not sure. Appreciate your advice. I'm not sure, when you say appreciate that to me, I'm not sure if you're meaning chest voice or head voice, because you didn't specify which one. But at any rate, when we're working with vibrato, the best way to obtain a vibrato is to work on the components of your singing voice that will create a vibrato. In other words, when you think about I want a vibrato, you are focusing on the end result of a well-aligned system. So your vowel alignment, and especially your apagio breath management, will be key players in developing your vibrato. Now, if you're doing that, if you're working on vowel alignment, and you're working on apagio breath management, the bigger picture of what you're working on is the balance of vocal fold engagement and air pressure, subglottic air pressure. And when those two elements work together, you get a little oscillation that happens between them. They're like sort of responding and pressing back and forth on one another, and they start to wiggle a little bit. And you can probably see where this is going, right? This is our vibrato. Now, if you're doing those things, the best place that I have found to experiment with the creation of your vibrato is in the sort of comfortable middle range. And what you can do is you can do some exercises that kind of create balance, and then maybe a little short sustained note, just a little bit longer than the other notes, and see if you feel a little wiggle. So for example, and hopefully you can hear the vibrato coming through on the held note that's at the end of the phrase. In a phrase like that, I am putting the note that I am hoping to hear some vibrato on in the most comfortable area for me, where I stand the chance of having the best balance of vocal fold engagement and airflow. And I'm preceding the held note by two shorter notes. Those short dynamic air pressure notes help us to get the most balance from our voice. So when you kind of do that, when you start the flow of air and you pause it for a second and then start it again, what you're giving the vocal fold an opportunity to do is find balance. And everything starts to come into alignment. And then, in the earlier stages of that, you might not get a full vibration. What you might get is like sort of a shimmy or a wiggle. Where it kind of dips for a second there, then comes back up, and then I go down the rest of the scale. It will begin like that. It may begin as just a sensation, as a sort of feeling that you have of instability. In some ways, you might think of it as almost like a negative feeling, like, oh, that note feels a little bit like it's going to crack on me, or it's a little bit unstable. But it may, in fact, be an indication that things are balancing out. And then you can kind of encourage it along to become more of a full vibrato. Now, again, in your comment, I'm not sure if you were meaning it's easier in one particular register of your voice or another. It may be that if you're practicing in the zona de passaggio, working towards a transition over the secondo passaggio, that you're experiencing some balance there and it feels a little bit like it's wiggling on you. And that might be where you're initially feeling that possibility of an oscillation. And if that's the case, keep on playing around with it. There's no reason to limit yourself to one area or another. It may be that you begin to get the sense of the oscillation there, in the zona de passaggio, for example, and then you bring that down a major second, a minor third, and find that there the balance is a little bit easier to attain, and then you get the vibrato. There are other sort of gross motor skill coordination exercises that one can do to encourage vibrato, but they tend to be more of like pitch slides than the way that a vibrato that's really nicely connected is created. And so they can be good, I think, for getting an idea of what you wish to hear in a way, but the actual execution isn't the way that vibrato is executed in a well-balanced singing voice. So while I might suggest you explore that to a certain extent, I would caution you against practicing it too much, just simply because it's not physically the way that it works best. And if it becomes too habitual without the alignment practices to offset it, then you could get into an unfortunate habit that way. Great question. I hope this helps. If I've missed anything, you need me to elaborate more, that's what the comments are for. Until next time, thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.